Hello everyone, welcome to The Real Deal. It is week 4 of the NFL season and the algorithm is now harnessing all of the statistics and the formulas are now set up to use this the way we're going to use it the rest of the season, using current year stats and home and away. There's so many things to talk about in this video. I've done hours and hours and hours of work actually on this today to get this accurate, and I think I'm good right now. So we're going to talk about the Thursday night game. We're not going to talk about the rest of the games, but we're going to go through a tutorial about how to utilize the file. So if you're interested in the Thursday night pick, it's Cincinnati. They're minus 310. Are they going to cover the 7? It might be a little closer than you think. Does not think a high-scoring game. But once again, one of those tough games to pick because the line for Cincinnati really is not that good. So tough game, but a tough game on Thursday night, basically. Cincinnati to win is probably what you want, but it doesn't pay very much. So that's the Thursday night update. Now let's talk about everything that has happened to the file. So, okay. Let's talk about the matrix. Within the matrix, we have season stats for all the team, and we talk about the points that they score per game and the points they give up per game. And we've also broken out how much they give up on the road when they're home and what the average points they score when they're away, when they score when they're home, and when they average points they give up when they are home, and average points they give up when they are away. And we have some factors that are showing you, for example, that like Buffalo is a fantastic team at home. I think they had a shutout in their only game at home so far, right? At least that's what it says. Hopefully the stats are correct. I've spent a lot of time with it. Let me know if anything looks wrong. But so we have these factors now that are contributing to our point projections. We also have new season statistics from Pro Football Reference. I noticed last week that the strength of schedules were really off. Some of the games that we lost last week, like the Giants, the Eagles on Monday night, Atlanta, these teams had terrible strength of schedules, like in the minus 20s, minus 30s, and that really distorted some stats. So that's starting to clean itself up now in week 4, so I think this is going to be better. And I've done some adjusted ratings. It's just too complicated to explain technically what I've done, but there's a ton of things. And what that does is it yields a couple things that I want to talk about. So this is the season pivot sheet, and this is the sheet where you can have a little fun with this file now. There are distributions over here that you can change if you want to weight different categories. We have a new category for home versus away win percentage, and this is a complicated category that looks at how many teams the away team has won away compared to how many teams the home team, which is the Rams, have won at home. And when those numbers are the same, then this percentage is 0. But when the numbers are greater for a team, then it's 100%, because we're only like 3 games have been completed in the season. So like the Bengals are really good at home compared to the Jaguars on the road. That's why there's 100% here. There's also negative 100%, meaning the Lions are much worse away than the Bears are at home. I guess the Bears have probably won a game at home, maybe. That's why. So this factor now can be something we can measure, and it can go into our win strength number, which is now going to mean something finally. This win score number actually means something. That's right here. This 49%, this is a very strong win score for Cincinnati. Right? Anything over 20% is usually pretty strong. So what we have, let's go back to that season pivot sheet. And what you can do, and one of the things that's kind of fun, is to clear out these percentages altogether. I'm going to get rid of those for a second. Put them up here to save them. But get rid of them all together. And then look at the first 3 weeks of the season so far. And you can retroactively test to see how important these factors were. So, for example, if only thing we cared about was margin of victory, we would have gone, you have to divide this number by 2. So it's really 38 and 9 would have been our record if all we cared about was margin of victory regressively, looking back at it. If you care about home versus away win score percentage, you'd win all the games, but don't get too excited about that. That's because there have been so few games, and every team only has 1 or 2 games at home or away, and so it kind of fills itself in, which is why you go 48-0 if you do that. It's kind of funny. The points per game, you would have gone, you'd win 76% of your games here. If you use just offensive rating, you would win only 66% of your games. If you use just defensive rating, you'd win only 62% of your games. So there's an optimal distribution, which we'll work on a little bit more later in the season as we get more stats. But this distribution is pretty good retroactively. You can see that this goes 44 and 4 with this distribution retroactively, retrofitting it backward into the first 3 weeks of the season. So that would be pretty good, obviously. So that's the one that we're using for week 4. And that's where we get our percentages here. So I am showing you a little bit of what this is predicting for week 4 already. So like the biggest percentage here is the Saints over the Giants at 63%, right? So that's the biggest win score favorite. That may not be the biggest projected score favorite because the projected scores are calculated slightly differently and don't use these factors. So as we look at the games, you're going to want to look for consistent things like, is the win score positive and high, above 20%? And is the margin of victory pretty good? In this case, you have 5 points and a almost 50% win score percentage. So it's very likely, according to the algorithm, that Cincinnati wins this game. And arguably, they might cover 7 because this win score is pretty high. So I mean, you pretty much only have to get the magnifier up a little bit more, I think, to get them to cover 7. No. And now, actually, it wants to stay at a 5-point game. So anyway, yeah, the projected scores are doing that. So I will do an extensive video breaking down all of the games. I've glanced at it. It looks pretty good, but I want to spend more time doing some programming here. And on Friday, I'll release something to the subscribers. If you're subscribing for October, it's $39 for the whole month of October, and you'll get this week 4 here in September. You can follow the link in the description. I'll be releasing that video to the public on Sunday right as the games start, but if you want to get it ahead of time and, of course, get the file with all the picks, you will need to subscribe. We had a pretty good week last week, but I mean, we didn't win the Monday night game. We ended up going 9-7, I think, and won a lot of games up top. Like I said, the Atlanta strength of schedule was screwing up this game, and so was the Eagles' strength of schedule was screwing up this game, because we had actually the Eagles winning this game 26-24. It's changed because of the injury report, which changed when I updated. But we actually lost this game, so we didn't go 10-6. We went like 9-7, I think. But not bad up top. I mean, with the exception of the Giant game, a bad team losing to what I thought was a worse team. Everything else looked pretty good. So anyway, good luck everybody on Thursday night. Let's go Cincinnati. Probably an under. I think the over-under for that game is set at 46. So that's that's a very high over-under compared to the 35 that we're projecting. So once again, I'm saying go for an under, but we're not saying pick of the day under because we don't do picks of the days as over-under. The pick of the day would be the Bengals on the money line to win because that's the only thing you can really count on in this game. All right, good luck everyone. May all of your picks be winning.